Hey gang, so a couple weeks ago I did a tech blog on this here trick, taking a one-handed 1.5 and then learning how to turn with it. And more specifically, kind of going from this orientation where it looks as though the static spin poi is going forwards to this sort of orientation where it looks like it's going reverse, and doing so in a kind of continuous fashion. Now, after I uploaded this tech blog, I got a great challenge from Natan Wythe to try and learn how to do this same thing, but do it with Triquetra versus Pendulum. As we've talked on this tech blog before, Triquetra versus Pendulum, when done as a one-handed move, is way easier to do as a weave than it is as a wall plane move. The reason being that as you come over to the far right-hand side of your body, doing Triquetra versus Pendulum like this, the two poi want to be in the same place at the same time. Whereas if you switch it into a weave such as this, there's enough movement side to side that it prevents the two poi from directly running into each other, right? But so far, all of the Triquetra versus Pendulums that we've been doing here have been centered around the poi turning forwards and the hand essentially doing the same motion that it would be doing if it were doing a reverse two-beat, right? So the first question we got to ask then is how to learn how to do Triquetra versus Pendulum, but going in such a way that the poi looks like, Triquetra poi looks like it's going reverse, while the hand looks like it is doing a forwards two beats, like so. And the good news is that if you've already done the work on the 1.5, this actually shouldn't be that big a leap for you. Namely, when we're doing this reverse 1.5 like this, there's this moment over on the right-hand side of the body when we're having, let me switch sides so you can see exactly what I'm talking about here, where we're having the thumb end reach underneath the pinky end to give us the static spin, right? Now, as this happens, it naturally leaves this gap where the thumb end can kind of escape past the pinky end, right? To get to the Triquetra, actually, we're just going to exploit that gap to let the thumb end do an additional beat. Now, as that happens, as it goes up like that, the pinky end poi is going to start waving back towards your right-hand side, which means that when you bring it back to your left-hand side, you have this little gap that you can bring the thumb end poi underneath. In other words, you're going to wind up having the thumb end poi do an upbeat on both sides. Instead of, as a 1.5, we would do thumb, pinky, right? Instead it becomes thumb and thumb again, thumb and thumb again, thumb and thumb again, thumb and thumb again, yeah? So let me go ahead and switch to the POV so you guys can take a look at what that looks like from your own point of view.
So we're going to start off with some one-handed 1.5s. As per usual, the orange poi is the thumb end and the white poi is the pinky end. When we perform these 1.5s, we're always taking whichever end is underneath on a given side, in this case it's the pinky end on the left, up and over in such a way that we could think of it as being an upbeat as opposed to a downbeat. So we have the thumb end doing the upbeat on the right side, the pinky end doing the upbeat on the left side. Now we're going to switch to Triquetra versus Pendulum, where we have one upbeat from the thumb end and now a second upbeat from the thumb end. This is going to allow us to actually stick the thumb end underneath once again on the left side. There was one, now that's the second upbeat. As we do this, we're switching the poi ostensibly between a split opposites kind of fashion on the bottom side right there into a split times same direction kind of feel up top right there. As we're performing that second upbeat, we're pushing the hand away from ourselves. This gives the pendulum enough room to move so that we can clear a little bit of a window for the thumb end to pass underneath it.
Okay, so now that you guys have that under your belt, let's actually talk about how to turn back and forth between the Triquetra versus Pendulum that we know and the one that we just learned. The way that this happens is that we have to really realize that the bottom corner pedal of the Triquetra versus Pendulum in the direction that we're going to turn always has a cross point in it, right? So as I'm doing poi turning forwards like this, I'm looking for this moment when I can steer it over to all the way around my left-hand side. Let me do that moment for you again. It's going to be, as it's coming down, right there, I can sneak that underbeat in with my right hand underneath my pinky end as I'm making the turn, right? Whew. Got a little lost there. One more time. As I make the turn, I look for the underbeat and come out. And I'm right into that forwards Triquetra versus Pendulum. Coming back is a little bit trickier. As I'm making that turn, I'm looking to pop up once I get back to my left-hand side, right? So when going from this reverse end, and I'm considering it reverse because my hand is turning as in a reverse 2 beats, I'm looking to work in the underbeats and come out. And again, as it goes past, I'm looking to get in the top pedal of the Triquetra as I come all the way around to the other side of my body, right? It's a little bit tricky, especially going from the forwards back to the reverse, but it mainly is an exercise in kind of keeping your rhythm under control and noting that that bottom pedal is always the place where you're going to change. Because it's the best cross point that you have available to you. Always be thinking that what happens after you get through that bottom point, there's an upbeat on the side that you just switched to. That's that top pedal, right? So I go through the bottom pedal and upbeats. Whew, hang on. I go through the bottom pedal and upbeats. I go through the bottom pedal and upbeats. So on and so forth, right? Cool. So I hope this was helpful. Natan, thanks for the great challenge, and I'll be seeing you guys very soon with some more tech next week. Whew. Thank you for watching. Peace.
Hi, thanks so much for watching this video. If you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel here on YouTube. Doing so will help other people find my content, and it lets me know that I'm creating videos that are worth seeing. Also, check out my website at drexfactor.com. There, you can purchase sets of poi like the ones I use in my videos, and get access to a great range of written inspirational content, plus which you can subscribe to my videos there in the form of a podcast. Finally, if you go to flowtoys.com, you can enter in my special promo code and get a small discount on your order. Doing these things helps support me in my flow journey, and it means that I can make more videos for you guys. So, thank you in advance for your support.